fear no evil, for thou art with me. Don't you remember what happened last time? Yo, devil! Who you think you're talking to? Don't you know I'm local? Oh, you remember? Yo, Abaddon, show these fools what time it is! Come and get your love. Come and get your love. You think you're alone. You think you're alone. Have you heard my heart? Yo, homie! Back up! Celestial coming through! Yo, has anyone seen my horn? Come and get your love. Come and get your love. You think you're alone. You think you're alone. Have you heard my horn? Hey, Gabriel! Have you heard my horn? Hey, Enoch. The horn still plays.
All right, namaste and catch my family, and welcome to another TeamLight interviews. I am here with Indigo Angel. Indigo, what's up?
Hey, Rion. I'm doing good. How are you? I'm excited to be here.
I know, dude. I woke up and made that music video this morning. I made that song yesterday, and I don't know what it is about the horns and the trumpets, but I was super into it. I was like, more horns. And what you guys can't really hear is if you guys go to teamlight.com and you guys want to download that song later, that thing is in Ultra HD 24-bit 48K sound. It is made to be played on surround sound speakers, or if you're a professional DJ, it sounds nuts when the wolf hits. So just letting you know, DJSTARLORD is playing this weekend at the Humankind Center. After there's going to be a really big conference there this weekend, and I'm on Saturday with Arcturus, Ra, and Jace. Going to be a lot of fun. But this solar eclipse energy and everything that's going on, I just thought it was really relevant, and we made it through the Lion's Gate. How did you make it through the Lion's Gate?
You know, I was connecting with the moon, and I think I contacted you. I mean, all this energy
Right.
through, and I was feeling so much emotion, so much clearing, so much cleansing. Felt like it was a very powerful Lion's Gate.
Yeah, for me, it was just a lot of, I felt like a lot of people that have been doing their homework and clearing and staying high vibe. I felt like we got through it a lot easier than some. You know, a lot of people that are waking up right now in the collective, they're really kind of going through it. They're starting to realize that, hey, you can't hide from this energy. And the answer is no. You cannot hide from our sun sending, photonic waves into the planet. Like, you can talk yourself into a circle all you want, but we are all riding on this plane of existence and evolving with Mother Gaia. So I find that very relevant. Let me just get some of the scientific nerd stuff out of the way, just so we know what we're walking into. All right. The solar eclipse is when the moon passes directly between the earth and the sun, casting its shadow on our planet, right? So temporarily blocking the sun's light. The moon completely covers the sun bright disk, the photosphere. Day turns to twilight, and the sun's outer atmosphere, the glowing corona, becomes visible. All right. Why it's so important with this big one coming up. Right now, August 11, 2026, the next total solar eclipse is just hours away. I know it's tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow morning for us. I can confirm like 7:55 in the morning. But I know that Spain hasn't had a solar eclipse in a century that they could see. And over Europe, it's been like since 1999. I mean, I feel like in the States, we got hit with a bunch of solar eclipse just recently. It was like solar eclipse, solar eclipse. Now it's finally moving, across the planet. But the moon's dark umbrella shadow will sweep from northern Russia across the Arctic, Greenland, the western edge of Iceland, and into northern Spain for a tiny bit of Portugal, ending sunset over the Mediterranean. So totality, which means it's when it's totally blocked out, 2 minutes, 18 seconds. Okay. Yeah. Spain hasn't had a solar eclipse over the mainland in over a century. Mm-hmm. So this is one especially special for Europe. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Up call for Spain, to be honest with you, because they have so much going on with that immigration crisis. And then there was a black hole that opened up in the Strait of Gibraltar, and they had that mass death event that happened in the waters. All the migrants drowned, So, I mean, I think it's like coming full circle for Spain. Yeah.
And, Spain is, I got nothing but love for Spain. Spain is like kind of a standalone in the EU right now in what they're doing, not in so much what they're dealing with, but really how they're dealing with it. And I see a lot of the political leaders that are leading some of these companies, similar to how in the United States, we're seeing which members of Congress actually aren't in support of the people, actually are voting against voter ID, actually are not and does not have the people's best interest in mind. That prime minister or whoever they got in power over there, keep an eye on him, because I don't think he has the best motivation for his job and what he's doing. And that's very obvious to the people of Spain. So let's talk about why this is magical. Okay. The solar eclipse is going to hit on a deeply emotional level. I think it's a solar eclipse in Leo. For all you Leos out there, it's about to get emotional. We're about to get emotional. Look, listen, we're going to be fine. I'm a rising Leo. Okay. I'm a Pisces. They're like, you're not a Pisces. I'm like, I'm a Pisces, bruh. All right. The diamond ring corona. The pure black disk of the moon is surrounded by the ethereal pearl white corona, which streams reaching outward, something you can only see then with the naked eye. Okay. So let me see why it's rad. The rarity and perspective. Total eclipses are rare for any one location, often once every few hundred years. Standing in the path of totality puts you in a narrow shadow of only 100 to 300 kilometers, racing across the earth for thousands of kilometers. It's a visceral reminder of the precise, elegant clockwork of the solar system and how tiny we are in it. I remember we did the huge solar activation in Bastrop, I believe 1.5 years ago, where we had 2 solar eclipses that like made an X in Texas. And I was there, and what I witnessed, especially the second one, it was so trippy to see the solar eclipse's reflection on all the plant life, like all the leaves and everything. It felt like you were actually stepping outside of our time or our perspective of time. It really did feel like limbo, like the whole planet, like when you're in that ray of energy, it feels like you're going in between 2 doors. And that's what it felt like. And a lot of people had a hard time grounding through that. So with this solar eclipse, and we also have a huge amount of probably tonight and really tomorrow night, don't we have like a huge meteor storm or meteor shower going to be able to be seen with the visual eye all day tomorrow? Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be a very spectacular day for astrology and astrologically. So how do you feel about some of these big changes for the solar eclipse? And how do you feel that like people can prepare and utilize these energies for their benefit?
The moon has been just really coming forward and speaking in so many ways, speaking through the primordial waters, speaking through our psychic intuition and just these deeper levels of our truth within our consciousness. And so I think for many, they're going to experience new beginnings because it's kind of like a loaded, supercharged new moon, in a way, like how it comes through so powerfully and it clears out a lot of the old path and it shifts power, power dynamics and things like this. And it brings forward a lot of fated changes for people in a way. So, I mean, if you're kind of at a turning point in your life, something might shift suddenly, or you might get unexpected news, or, you know, just old chapters can close and then you can open up to new ones. And so I think people who are really excited for that, they get out there and they experience the eclipse. People who might be like, I don't know, I got like a bag of karma that's been following me around. Like, you might kind of want to avoid the eclipse because it's powerful and it's potent. I personally, you know, it depends every year. You know, if I'm feeling more sensitive and I'm feeling a little bit more delicate, I do tend to kind of steer clear of the eclipse in a way. But sometimes I feel excited and I want to really connect with the moon. And then I get out there and, you know, if we can see it, if it's crossing our path, I'll go out and take a look. But I think it's all about the moon right now because her truth, her consciousness is being redeemed in so many ways. And I think many people are realizing how important it is for us to connect with the moon to really bring forth progression of consciousness on the planet right now. So,
no, I couldn't agree more. You know, a solar eclipse is essentially a supercharged new moon. So your consciousness will identify identity, vitality, and visibility in emotion. So imagine on a new moon when you're meant to manifest. Well, if you're in the right state of mind, solar eclipse is like a super new moon, right? So it means new beginnings, radical clarity, personal power, and intentional rebirth. So there's a couple of things you can say. I fully reclaim my light. I step into a greater visibility, self-trust, and authentic power with ease. The second thing is I release all doubt and dimming. My presence and voice are magnetic and impactful. So I think that's really important right now because our voices are being heard, you know, across the collective, and each and every one of, especially the people in our comments and our team here at TeamLight, you guys are some of the most positive and awesome spiritual beings out there. So feel right now, it's time to kind of clean up the back office. We know if you guys haven't been going through that in dream time the past 4 or 5 days, I'm literally living in a parallel reality every night. I'm not dreaming at all. I'm in training. I'm meeting people. Last night I got to fly. I was also in the UK and I met the real queen. Apparently someone over there, I don't know if I'm even supposed to talk about this, but someone over there has the real royal lineage of the United Kingdom, like the real bloodline. And she's a female, and it's not this German family, obviously, that purchased their way and purchased the crown with gold, whatever it is, their real name is. So I don't know if it was Diana, right? If she's still alive or whatnot, but I saw that there's like a royal female energy that is royal, like a royal bloodline. She's female. I met her last night. She's super rad.
I just want to bring this little thing of Princess Diana. So I seen this thing that they're saying that, you know, she never died and she's actually Melania Trump.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. Like did this facial morphing thing that's who she is.
Well, if that's the case, Trump's winning. If that's Diana, listen, if that's the case, you know, call him Papa Trump. No. So, what else is going on that's totally relevant? I know there's specific things and energies that we're all dealing with. What I can say right now, what's most important is unity. What I'm finding is that everyone's kind of going through their own closets and finding certain things that they're working on. Now is the time to kind of go inward and do that clearing. And if you need to be isolated, you need to chill, you need to go for a swim, you know, go for a walk. Mm-hmm. But now is really not the time, especially to interact, especially since some of us light beings on the planet, we spend so much time clearing our energies, especially, you know, there's a lot of healers out there, people that do sessions, people that have to have normal 9 to 5 jobs and have to interact with the public. Listen, 25% of the planet's ensouled. To be an ensouled beings actually feeling all of these energies while you're watching others kind of numb, just kind of walk through these energies. There's a reason why we're feeling these energies a lot more thoroughly than others. And it's not a bad thing, right? But here's what it really is. You guys are getting ready to graduate. If you're completely numb to these energies right now, you're probably going to come back in the reincarnation wheel, or, you need a little more time in the sandbox. Some of us came down here for a very specific run on what we were going to do for the collective, for our friends and families, and to be true stewards of this planet and lead by example. So there is a lot of I don't know how to explain it. your ego can't hold what these cosmic solar energies are dishing, on Thanksgiving or Christmas. Your ego can't comprehend what the Almighty is. So it will try to steer and turn you into shadow realms or different belief systems that are easier for your brain and what you've experienced down here, especially with your intelligence of what you think the source of reality is. The goal, once you get to a place, let me give you the visual. You guys ever seen those Kung Fu masters that like stand in the waterfall and they just kind of stand there and get beat up by the water? And then eventually you get to a place where you see like the old man in the waterfall and you notice that, hey, the water is not really affecting that dude. Like you would think he would just be taking hits and hits, and all of a sudden he's chill as a cucumber. Well, what did that being and what does that practice teach you? It teaches you to become one with the water. It is no longer an abrasive thing to your energy field. You become one with the waterfall. You become one with the water. You become one with the universe. So what I'd say for light workers out there, let this energy flow through you. Let it clean out whatever it needs to clean out. A lot of the stuff that it's cleaning out is stuff that's stuck in your subconscious. It's not even your conscious mind. It's all of the subconscious, unconscious thoughts of your bloodline, let's just say. You're wearing that suit. That suit and what's that blood running through your veins is a survivor. Well, how many things has it survived? Who's utilizing your energy? If you're in agreement to all things attached to you and all, things, that's good. But to be unaware, I would always like the beings to show up and show me why they are attached to my soul stream. I'm the opposite. I'm like, show me what why you're valuable to me. Show me what I'm learning or what experience I'm gaining by having you plugged into my energy field, running off me like a battery. Some of us are really going to wake up. And I'm giving you guys a heads up. It is not like a human being asking, I'm a star seed. What happens when an angelic wakes up that's 30 feet tall and sits up? There's something else coming for some of us who are really the angelic guard. It's not what any of these people wrote in books. Like it's like the keys of Enoch and you're one of the dudes that he's talking about. It's a completely different thing when angelics choose human vessels to incarnate. And, obviously I love Yeshua, love my brother Jesus. And I just want you guys to know that some of us are processing at different tiers of reality. And the galactic stuff is awesome. I love all of the different species that we are interacting with down here, but I'm never going to let go of that divine righteousness, that divine blueprint, that divine angelic spark that's in my chest. The main reason why all of these other ET species are here to study. Never let go of the main thing that makes you special in this universe. And that's not just for planet Earth. That's not just for the Sol system. That's not just for the entire universe. That's how special you are. So I just wanted you to remind you of that. We're at different levels in the game, right? Never let go of that divinity. So I know you're an angel. Let's get it, Indigo. How do you feel about being down here in a human suit?
It's an amazing experience. I love it so much. And I like what you just said about the 30-foot angel, the giant angel, because I was really resonating with that in the sense that, I think people may have a misconception about the angelic sometimes in the sense that they're just, just beautiful light beings and they're just, working within those that are suffering and helping the needy and, doing all the Archangel Michael tasks and things like this. But I think there's so much more than that. I think they're genuinely the warrior class on this planet. And they're the ones here that are really defending what is authentic, what is true, what is real, what is sovereign, what is divine law and things like this. And so I think it's good to remember that the angelics are strong and there's so much more to them than we even know. So
when you showed up at Rise of the Guardians and I walked by you, the only vibe I got was angelic in your white dress. I was like, that's an angelic. I'm like, hi, angelic. There was no like, but I'm the Palladian of the series. I was like, angelic. Wah. So I think we take on, angelics take on all comers. There's a reason why angelics don't interact, and I'll explain a little bit to you guys why. Because I used to, especially in the first 5 years when I woke up, I always used to talk smack, and I was super sarcastic. Okay, I was always like, "Oh, if it's so easy, why don't you come down here and do it?" Right? Like after the 1000th time I've said that, my highest light came closer to me one time. And I was in meditation and I started vibrating so fast that it actually felt like my jaw was cracking. Like I was going to break my jaw. That much voltage. You ever got hit with a million watt cattle prod? That much voltage. He got close to me and I was like, oh my God, okay. I was like, I couldn't even speak. Right. And he goes, that's why I can't get close to you. Now stop talking smack. You know, he didn't say smack, but he's like, stop talking. We're all listening to you. Everyone's looking at me. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine having like a oversoul and like your higher self's like this big gnarly angel. And you're just like, oh yeah, you think you could do a better job? And you're just sitting down here talking, you know, dancing, you know what I mean? Making jokes. And they're like, haha, it's not funny. But I want you guys to know the frequency differential is so great that if a real angel actually came down here, it would probably look like a comet of light just on the ground and a blazing golden white energy that was so, you think the psionics on a spacecraft are high frequency? No. We're talking about something that if you get close to it, it actually starts rewriting the DNA. It starts rewriting the code. It can't help it. It's so vibrant that it's like trying to control a sun. And when you have like a little sun on the surface of a third density environment, right? It's hard to tell that sun, hey, can you please not shine so bright? You're going to burn the eyes of these people. I mean, it's that bright. So I just want you guys to know, it's not that the angelics who are with you, mind you, through their lower selves, and they do send versions of themselves definitely down here to protect you guys. But I want to know why you guys are like, oh, I pray and I don't see one show up. I had one show up and I instantly realized why I can't have my homie next to me. A lot of people haven't moved enough energy through their body until one time I did another example. And then I want Indigo, I want you to talk about your examples. One time we were in Serpent Mountains, Ohio, and we had 4 activations to do. After the 3rd activation, it's now 11 o'clock at night. Everyone was cooked. Everyone's heading back. There's about 30 of us. Everyone's heading back to the Airbnbs that we have or the houses we rented. And I said, hey, make a right here. And I was with 3 or 4 people and they go, what? I'm like, we didn't do the 4th activation. So I got within like 30 feet of it and my energy body jumped out of my suit. And then I saw all my big dudes ring up in a circle. And I was all my life force sent and locked onto the target, and they did the 4th activation. Here's the problem. I was so barbecued after that, I tasted metal in my mouth.
Wow.
I felt like I took probably 6 years off my life. If you guys really want to know when you do real stuff, there is a cost. I've repaired obviously since then. Okay. But I just want you guys to know, you ever vibrate so hard or move so much chi that you're actually tasting metal? That's how much energy comes through your spine. So I want you guys to know that as you guys go through these levels and as you guys experience your own real things, okay, to know that, you know, similar to going to the gym, like how do you get stronger? Work out. Well, when you lift weights, what's happening? You're tearing all your muscle fibers so they can grow back stronger and you build muscle mass. Okay. In the spiritual world, the more you practice your kata or your qigong. What is it? Qigong? What is it? Your qigong or whatever, right? Whatever it is, when you're mastering your Tai Chi, whenever it is you're mastering the energy of what your output is, this is something that each and every one of you can do very privately. You can take that meditation, put your music on, go in the solar eclipse, and imagine the golden sphere of energy around you. Now rotate it left to right. Now stand in the center of that tornado of golden energy, and then broadcast your frequency up. You can start practicing how to move the energy because it's all stored in your DNA. You're not learning anything new. You're remembering who you are and you're remembering some of those angelic traits you brought down here. So I said my little 2 cents on that. What are some things that I know you've had a lot of experiences with your angelics, you know?
Do you resonate more as an angelic incarnate as well?
Here's the truth with how I felt. I felt I was kind of like an undercover light agent, like a galactic agent that was set in to learn everything that was kind of going on the surface, good and bad, to kind of see what programs were affecting humanity. And then when I woke up, I took all that data set and kind of handed that off to my higher self. It was almost like sequence complete. Now start the next level of your training. For me, it was always an upward staircase. It was never like, it was like I was always training to get to the next level. There was always like I had to have a certain amount of data to make a decision, not only for myself, but how human beings are being treated here. So a lot of the conspiracy theory or a lot of the disclosure was, in the Epstein files and all this stuff was really learning, wow, this is what's been going on down here. You know what I mean? You could have been born in a very sheltered environment and not known any of this stuff, right? So part of being a good engineer or part of being a good, steward, if you're really here to help your brothers and sisters, you first must walk a mile in their shoes, in the sense of at least know what's affecting them, what's hurting them, what's slowing them down. My thing was kind of, partying like a rock star 20 to 25 and getting sober. And then realizing why I was really what I was. I was attacked. I was a threat to the system and the matrix. So they literally kept me sedated for 5 years. I was just full blown sedated. Can you imagine if I would have woken up 5 years previously, where I'd be now? So what I'm trying to say is that I first woke up at 19 years old and then went back to sleep for 10 years, right? So all of us can resonate with how we're learning, but this solar eclipse and why this is so important, bringing this all full 360 is we've all gone through crazy, gnarly experiences. To have the ability to consciously see how much you've grown and how you now view this reality with all this new data, right? And intelligence and awareness that you now possess. Our goal is to help one another not make the same mistakes. So for example, if I have 13 people in a circle, right? I don't need to live this person's life or this person's life or her life or her life. What we do is it's almost like we share our collective consciousness together. That's how we punch through. That's how we're unstoppable. It's always been a team effort. And the deep state and the dark hats spend trillions of dollars a year of fake Babylonian money magic to keep us separated by sex, by race, by belief system, by culture. They pay for this stuff. When we come together and we're actually finally unified on this planet, the amount of abundance and how fast we will shift will be like something that no one can ever see. You can't see how fast our true potential is. And I wait for that day. I want all wars to end and I want us to live in peace. So how do you feel about some of that?
Well, I definitely align with it. And I think it's so significant that you said that we shouldn't repeat the past mistakes, and things like this. I recently was doing some remote viewing according to the GA, and I was looking down at the Atlantic basin around the Bermuda Triangle and the anomaly of SS3. And some of the things that I were seeing is the wreckage body of Atlantis. And this is really a reminder to us all to not continue to make these same mistakes. There's a full-on situation going on underneath the waters right now with the aquatic beings and the aquatic guardians and the remnants of Atlantis and the mega cities that are underneath the waters, and what these dark hat groups that you just said are doing. That I equate it to the Federation and the secret space programs as well, because I think all these groups tie into the destruction and devastation of the human light body and the human consciousness, because there's so much that they're doing to us that we're not able to consent to. I mean, starting with the forced breeder programs and the hybrid programs and the cloning programs and them taking our biological tissues without us knowing and cloning us, and these kill to order to kill programs that they have, and the gate programs. And I mean, it's endless, right? It's just this long list of thousands of things that are being done to us by secret societies and secret groups and secret brotherhoods and secret alien negative ET races that are tricking us into peace treaty deals with them. And I mean, it's like, my gosh, you know, all we really have to do is look at the remnants of Atlantis to understand that really where these trillionaires and billionaires and these major tech corporations are leading us to is back to the bottom of the Atlantean seafloor. So we can, you know, have to look at all the damage that's been done. I think I seen something the other day that was talking about hundreds or trillions of nuclear radiation that's been dumped on the floor, on the seafloor as well, that, you know, from these devastation sites and Armageddon sites like Chernobyl and all these things, that it's just really not so good. So, I mean, I think that we are progressing in our consciousness, but in order for us to progress, we also have to take a step back and take some accountability around where, you know, we're giving away our consent. We're giving away our authority, our spiritual sovereignty, our gnosis. And I think this has a lot to do with the moon, coming back to this, because I think one of the things that is really in the way of all this is that artificial satellite narrative, because that continues to put a wedge between us and our intuition, our consciousness, our bodies, our rhythms, our cycles, you know, our connection to the moon, which is a part of what and who we are. I did a deep channeling with the moon recently on my Facebook. And what I seen was that the moon was originally a part of Tara. So basically the fifth dimensional, I guess it would be like a prototype Earth, you know, the original Earth that was impacted by Theia, and that the moon is actually remnants of her body. So the moon actually carries all these memories and consciousness connected to the original Eden on Tara, and that the moon's shell and the moon's dust and the moon's craters and all these like dynamic architectures of the moon, like it's all carrying living consciousness, that the moon is not dead. And so I feel like they know this. They know this, and I think this is a distraction because they don't want us to know the weaponry that's on the moon. They don't want us to know that they built the war rooms inside of the moon and that they're doing all kinds of crazy SHIT on the dark side of the moon, and that all these negative ETs are weaponizing it for Stargate hijack on this planet and to overpower the Stargate womb grids, right? Because they want to control the birth rates on the planet. So how can they do that? Well, control the moon and distract us away from it. So, you know.
No. Hey, listen, I love your passion. What I noticed was there about 2 years ago, someone was filming the moon and they used a very specific webcam that I used to have. It was a Logitech 1080p webcam, but there was something on the lens that made it a little different. It's an older model. He was filming through his telescope and he goes, "Hey, I don't know how to explain this." He was showing his friends. I'm seeing color. It's not black and white up there. I'm seeing actually that the moon has color, and this camera's picking it up. It's not black and white. It's very strange. So there's been many different tech things, you guys. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Nikon P1000. It was a camera that Nikon made. It was called Zoom to the Moon. Yeah, P1000. You know what's up, Jaden? Well, I was waiting for the P2000 to come out, okay? People were filming in 4K ships on going from the light side to the dark side of the moon with a camera that it was called the Nikon P1000. NASA contacted Nikon directly and said, "Do not make that camera anymore and discontinue it." So there is constantly things going on this planet to try to manipulate and change our perception of reality, of what we're told this is compared to what it really is. So I think as time goes on, there's going to be a lot of different realities shown to us. I personally think that a lot of us have moved out of third density. I personally do feel that way. How do you know when you're moving out of third density? I'm not hungry. And I don't know how to explain this to you. You know, I used to eat, 2, 3, 4, depending if I'm working out, 4,000, maybe 5,000 calories a day. This past month, I know it's hot in Sedona, but I don't have an appetite. I'm maintaining my body weight, but there's something has shifted in me almost frequency wise. I think there's so many habits that we have down here in the physical that are going to change as we begin to vibrate and oscillate faster. I think it's really relevant to know that these biological changes, I think right now, how much have you guys changed out there? Give me a thumbs up. Just what you guys eat. When you go to the grocery store, what chips you buy, what food you eat. What's your diet? I mean, how many things have changed casually? You're like, oh my God, I can't believe I used to eat that. I don't think I've had an Oreo in a decade. You know what I mean? There's just some things when we were kids, I was like, oh, Snickers and Baby Ruth. And now I'm like, it's poison. Like I would eat it if it was dark cacao, 77% chocolate with real things. It's poison. I don't want to eat it. So there's a lot of things that have changed within us that I think are also due to the frequency going up on the planet. What you're attracted to, it's not just the food, guys. How about hanging out with friends? Give me a thumbs up or agreed if you guys have kind of stepped out of certain circles of friends, have made maybe new friends, could be family members. It's things that like I no longer can hide who I am and I can no longer fake it. Mm-hmm. I can't fake it anymore. And I don't know how to say that politely. I can't fake it. And it's hard for me to even go into a situation where we're not talking about something, whether it be like quantum physics, it could be health, nutrition. But the last thing I want to hear is how the transmission of your car or the new purse you got from the mall, or I don't know. There's just certain things that have very little interest. People that watch sports, listen, I used to love watching sports. I used to love watching football when I was playing football in high school. Even this World Cup, I loved, some of the highlights. I was more into all the people, coming together and helping one another. But as far as like staring at a television about something that's going on in a sport, I have to remind everyone, hey, there's a huge spiritual battle going on the planet for your soul, for who and what can affect and control your soul, not who won the soccer game last night with a pack of cervezas. So again, for all of us that want to keep it 100% with you, the more, if we had the masses on our side, we'd flip this planet in 10 seconds. So again, love sports, not taking a shot at anybody. I'm just trying to say that I wish I had time to sit and drink beer and watch a sport on a television. I don't even say I wish. I'm just trying to tell you, I don't know where you guys find the time. Aren't there other things you should be doing, like being of service, helping? I want to be real. Sometimes that brings us joy and we do family things. It's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is almost like the people that own the World Cup or the people that own, the Super Bowl, that have these weird halftime ceremonies and they have everything like curated, right? Or at the Olympics in France, when they were making fun of Jesus and Yeshua and the Last Supper with some weird shenanigans, and how all the Americans, all the people were like, shut off the Olympics, like, oh, just kidding. And they deleted the segment. What I'm getting to is I don't let distraction take me away from what I should be working on and how I can be helping my family. And I'm just trying to say that's something the Romans knew. Give them the games and you could do whatever you want as long as they're satisfied. Some of us are evolving past being hypnotized. And I think it's kind of time for you guys to go, oh shit. You're like, yeah, bro, I can't stare at 440 hertz. I can't watch a commercial. As soon as the frequency of the commercial comes on in the gym, I'm like, oh my God, somebody turn that shit off. Some of us haven't seen a commercial in years. I don't watch TV, dude. So just like you guys are watching this on, alternative media right here at YouTube live across the planet, I just want you guys, that's a normal stage in evolution. That, I don't sit there and play video games. Give me a thumbs up if you guys used to be addicted to video games. I used to love video games, especially during COVID. I was like an Overwatch gangsta. I used to love it. Used to play it every day. It became part of my schedule. Looking back on it, I'm like, where did I get 4 hours a day to play video games? Where did that 4 hours come from? I'm exhausted. I can barely get what I have to get done and go to the gym. I don't understand where this extra 4 hours comes from. And the truth is, what did you give up to be distracted? Did you give up the gym? Did you give up your relationship? Did you give up hanging out, getting out in nature and hiking and taking care of yourself? Did you get up spending time with your children? What did you give up? Everyone has 24 hours in a day, right? So I'm just trying to say there's some real course correction things I'm trying to express in a very casual way to you as I share my own experience. As you guys keep moving forward, you're going to have greater and greater challenges. And as you move up in the levels of your spirituality and ascension, you will find that you rather be learning new things, studying new things, trying new things out, moving your energy will bring you more joy than something that just ends in a dead end. So, Indy, what are some of the things you do that, I know you like to get out in the water and meditate. What are some of the things that you like to do to kind of get in your Zen zone?
My Zen zone. Well, I'm a very I think simplicity is the best thing. I find that the more I go down this journey of ascension and the more that I become more aware and more conscious that I want things to be natural. I want things to be pure. I want things to be simple. Life should be simple. That's the best way to really harmonize my central nervous system. I can't really overload it or put a lot of things, on the table. Basically, I actually am kind of guilty of doing that, like planning too many things at one time. But I would say on a level of stress factors, it's just keeping the stress levels down and spending time doing more meditating and really just listening to that subconscious body, the intuitive body, the psychic body. I'm always in a constant dialogue with that inner realm. And so I'm always listening to it. Like, I know it is my number one guidance. It's my number one connection to all things. So, if I'm having a day and then I hear in my mind, like, you need to go channel the moon. You need to go sit down and talk to the mermaids. You need to go connect with the whales. You need to go connect with the GA. You need to go connect with source. Like, I just go sit down and I just give myself the time and the space to really bring in the messages, because I do feel like my personal role in all of this is to just continue to be a transmitter of knowledge and information and channeled oracle, because I do believe in the prophecy of New Earth. So all things, and it's 444, by the way, all things that I do is connected to either creating portions of New Earth, being a vision holder for New Earth, anchoring something connected to New Earth, guiding people towards that vision of New Earth. Everything I do is constant creation, constant contribution, constant planetary stewardship. Giving back to the land, giving back to my children, giving back to other people's children, giving back to my community. So I'm in a constant state of service to others. I do have to
I got you
myself as well, but
yeah. Well, speaking of that, I know you have a little retreat coming up. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I just spent the day kind of going through the itinerary and combing through it. So it's going to be focused around oceanic grid work. We are going to be connecting with the Lemurian sea temples. We will be working with the mermaid nations. I had a huge channeled explosion of information that came forward regarding the mermaid lineages in the waters that came through after I connected with SS3. The Atlantic Diamond Mermaids came through and they were like, hey, we're guardians. We're here to help you guys work on this wreckage body and things like this. And we have messages from under the waters. And, there's other mermaid nations and there's mermaid politics and all these things. And I'm like, wow, okay. I'm open to all of it. And they're showing me that, a part of the event is for us to connect with the primordial waters, connect with the moon, because the moon has a whole, for one, a Lemurian moon passageway and corridor through the Gulf and over through, the Polynesian Triangle, to Japan and Okinawa. That's really activating the original spine of the dragon. We've been having a mass guardian contact event. I think that's been happening since June, because the dragons have been coming through so profoundly. Like, they were showing me all the, like, and I'm sorry, I get distracted real easily. I'll go back to the event, but they're showing me the thermal sky highways that they're traveling through, and they're connected to the angelics. They're safeguarding angelic architecture on this planet. They're diving down from the sky temples and the sky islands, and they're guarding the seraphim and the Elohim temples and things like this. So the dragons and the angelics work hand in hand, and the dragons and the mermaids work hand in hand, because there's actually mermaid lineages that are half dragon, the Yonaguni dragon mermaids, especially, that live amongst those corridors and things like this. So all these beings, all these spirits are, all guardian aligned, and they're all working together to guide us, the land beings, into missions that can, activate certain things that we're ready for in the next evolutionary process of our total planetary spiritual ascension. So when I do a Starfort mission or a grid work mission and I offer this isn't just something that, we're just coming together just for a good time. It's like, no, we're coming to get to work. We're coming to activate those Lemurian seed temples, to gain as much access and records to them as possible, transmit that information to humanity. We're going to be anchoring the new Earth seal in the Gulf Coast and the waters, and, ushering forward through prayer and through meditation and through toning and through recognition of the reflection of what Source is trying to bring into us and through us. And we are there to really hold that container and hold that field and prepare the land, prepare the waters for the coming of the new Earth and for the release of the records within the Lemurian sea temples, because there's scrolls in there's lunar information, there's priestess codes and things like this that are coming forward regarding that. Now, the Starfort portion of it is we will be working within Fort Pickens, which is a really incredible old World War II Starfort that was used to guard the coastal regions down here, which was Pensacola, where I live. It was actually, I think it was the first colony in America across the board. Everybody thinks it's St. Augustine, but Pensacola has it beat by about 5 years. And so that Starfort basically holds all those memory records, like I think Christopher Columbus and like all these things. So we're going to be, working within the Starfort, bringing forward the galactic civilizational technology, anchoring it here on Earth, because a part of that future prophecy is we are going to become a galactic Earth, a galactic civilization. And these Starforts are remnants of ancient Tartaria, and they are the remnants of like the prototype of Atlantis. Atlantis was a Starfort civilization, essentially. And so it's already been here. It's just that we're awakening it and we're working with it and we're bringing forward the galactic codes. The Lyrans are going to be working with us with this as well, because a lot of the transmissions I received is that the Lyrans brought the Starfort technology to this planet in the first place to help safeguard certain coastal regions.
Did you say Lyran?
Yeah, I said Lyran.
Rawr. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the Lyrans are the Lyrans are definitely in full effect. And for all my fellow Lyrans out there, what's up? And my fellow dragons out there, you know who you are. What up? Protecting the waters. I'm a water baby. I'm the Pacific Ocean. Been surfing since I was 8. I love everything in the water. I love dolphins. I love the orcas. I don't know. I love to scuba dive. My whole thing with the connection with the water, for me, if you guys want to try this one time, for you guys that really are connected to the water, my Syrian version has gills that are behind the ear. I'm blue. You ever seen? I'm a blue dude. Kind of looks like the dude from Avatar, but like not that big. You're not 15 feet tall, but web feet. But I remember gills here, and there's 3 of them. And sometimes when I get overheated, or sometimes when I really need to decompress, I go to Maui and I go surfing, or Oahu. But when I duck dive or when I go underwater and I grab the reef, I sit there and I close my eyes and I imagine the energy coming through my gills. And for all you guys out there that live on the Big Island or all the islands out there, or you can try this too, Indy, when you're out in Florida, you go on the beach, you dive down into the water, you grab you grab about 2-3 feet under the water, grab the sand, preferably under where the waves are kind of crashing, because you get like some sort of an energy but close your eyes, hold your breath, but imagine pulling oxygen in from behind your ears. You guys might snap and just go boom and start pulling back a memory of when you guys were aquatic beings. For me, I think that it's a deeper reason why some of us really love the ocean, like really love the water. Some people don't get it. Like some people like to be, you know, I know I have friends like this. Some people like the mountains. Some people like different things. For me, I could be on a beach 8 hours a day. Like, and I don't know why I'm stationed up here in Sedona. It's hilarious. Yeah, I'm like, dude, I go from here to like Maui. I don't even have like a middle ground. But what I'm trying to say is that there's something in me that has an innate love for the water where it feels like home. So if you guys feel that same way, that there might be a more of a genetic disposition, or you might have deep memories of being maybe an aquatic being, or maybe being, it could be a dolphin, an orca. But for us, I think it was just more of an ancient civilization, similar to the U.S. Bring it back full 360. U.S. Navy in Congress straight up said, one of the head guys, hey, there's underwater ET bases on the bottom of the ocean, and there's UAPs coming out of the water. There are different species living on this planet in underwater bases at the bottoms of the ocean. So you guys think it's so far off, like, oh, it's something that's off world. No. Right off your coast, there's things. There's stuff off California. If you guys don't know this, off California, there's a trough that drops off 5,000 feet straight down. And if you guys look at Google Maps off the coast of California, it looks like there's an old city or a citadel with columns coming out of a building. Again, right at that specific place where it drops off 5,000 feet. Atlantis and Lemuria were real places. And what did they show on videos recently? Isn't there 3 continents right now underwater right now that you can see from satellite? You can see where these were continents that are now underwater. And to finish up with this, there was a famous cave in France. Cave divers entered this cave system. The depth was, I believe, 200 feet. It's either between 120 and 180 feet down. If you want to know how high the water still is compared to when it was when Atlantis and Lemuria and some of these locations were, there's the entrance to a holy temple that is underwater. And I think it's at a depth of 180 feet. So you have to dive down on. For heating the circuit. Yeah, we're back. I think we're over. Listen, I think we're dropping too much truth. They're like, hey, listen, Google it before they shut us down. But yeah,
you're bringing the truth of the waters up, and as you're saying the feels and stuff, I'm totally seeing your merman. Like, and I think you originally came from the waters. I was getting these messages the other day, like that we're going back to the water, so prepare ourselves. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I'm getting with you, Yonaguni dragon mermaids. I'm also getting the Gulf mermaids with you, and then the Atlantic diamond mermaids. Like, I think
I got a big trident in the other room.
Well, there are Poseidon gates. I know, you should go get it.
No, I don't. You think I feel no. If I pull out my trident, you're gonna be like, I feel like Mick Dundee, and he gets like jumped in the alley, and the guy like pulls a knife, and he goes, "You call that a knife?" And he pulls out like a buck knife. Goes, "That's a knife." Yeah, I got like an 8-foot trident. Anyways.
Sent me a picture of it, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Listen, they're good for keeping the grays out of your house. Get out of here. Some people use a broom. I use a trident. All right, but
trident though, there are 5 Poseidon gates under the Atlantic. So SS3 is the main Poseidon gate. The eastern gate is off the west side of Gibraltar. The northern gate is in Iceland, and then in the spine, which is like the mermaid corridors in the central heartland of Atlantis, is the central gate, and then to the south. So there's another gate, but the Poseidon gates are like portals, and they will open you up to the mermaid kingdom realms. And the mermaids are trying to regain authority over those gate systems again, because, well, the mermaids are being subjugated to all of this stuff as well. Like you said,
I heard they were being hunted because the L-ites, they're not called elites, they're called L-ites. Were harvesting their DNA and blood because there's a lot of age reversal stuff you can do with the mermaid's blood. And there's also places, just so you guys know, I don't know why I'm just getting into this confidential stuff. There are places where there's a video where the guy has a private like 2-man sub, and it's the best mermaid video out there that they can't debunk. But where he was located and where he was diving, I believe it's off the northern coast of, I want to say Ireland, but it could be Iceland. I can't remember. No, it's Iceland. There's like a portion, like here's Iceland. You know, they let you go to the bottom and you can fly into the bottom. On the northern side of Iceland, there is a huge portion of that ocean that is no man. You're not allowed to go there. Kind of like it's like a no man's land. That's where a lot of these aquatic species are, and there's no people out there. So it's either or you have to know. So I think that these aquatic species are with us, and I can't wait to go surfing with one. No, just kidding.
The more we connect with the mermaids, the more psychic we'll all become, and they're the ones that can actually open the dream realms for us. Because they're so connected to the subconscious and to the lucid waters and to the moon. I mean, this all comes back to the moon. I mean, the mermaids worship the moon. They will go to the 28-degree high tide and low tidal points and, climb up on the rocks. And that's usually where they sing, because they have this thing where, they sing and there's like a morning in it and they're like transmitting.
Listen, let's be clear. I don't know if a mermaid starts singing and you're in a fishing boat, if you should like listen. I got to be honest for everyone out there. There's also some things where they be grabbing dudes back in the day. So let's just, that doesn't come from nowhere. Like, hey, come to the water, baby. I'm just going to be honest. Like, there was times before we had light. You're out there on the side of a boat with a torch and a lantern. So I think that they had more control of the seas back in the day.
I had a conversation with the Mediterranean siren houses, and they laughed. They laughed at those stories. They thought, these sailors think that we want these humans. Like, oh, they're so funny. You know what I mean? Because they're the most beautiful ones.
You never can tell. That's all we're trying to say. It's a coin toss. That's all I'm trying to say. It's a coin toss. Okay. But with that, anything else you'd like to say about the solar eclipse that's popping off right now? Anything that you want to channel something? Anything that you find is really relevant right now?
I just think it's so important that we all kind of stick together with trying to clear this relationship with the moon. I mean, there's so many horrifying stories going around disconnecting us from it. And we have to kind of remember that these are campaigns to disconnect and fragment our consciousness from the moon. And it pull us away from it, because that's a part of the distortion. That's a part of what the negative controllers want. I mean, you think about the Falcon 9 that Elon Musk, I mean, this is all coming up. The eclipse, 5 days ago, that impacted the moon at 1,000 miles per hour into the Einstein crater. Like, come on, like that's Elon Musk's ego. Like, hello, like he's obviously got an issue with Einstein. And it's like, and everybody's saying, well, before when it was impacted, it rang like a bell, right? That was like, you knew it was impacted or something. And this time it didn't ring like a bell. But I mean, I also think that the whole ringing like a bell narrative is a bunch of stuff trying to get us off the track as well, because
there's got to be a reason why we haven't gone back since 69. There's got to be a reason. I always thought it was very interesting when Musk was pushing this Mars narrative, right? And which he still is. But I always thought to myself, you're going to go from here to Mars, right? In a one shot. Wouldn't it be smarter to build a base on the moon, right? As you're kind of like, hub to go from, all right, now the moon to Mars, and now they're talking about, we're going to go back to Mars. I do believe that Antarctica, I do believe we lost around 40,000. We brought 40,000 troops down to Antarctica in 1944 with Admiral Byrd. I do believe the Nazis made a partnership with the Draconian. I do believe that we had ships cut in half, and the entire air fleet, air command system we brought down there was destroyed in 20 minutes. And I do believe that technology that existed in Antarctica and their weaponry does exist on the moon. I think there was a takeover of this planet. And I think, Indy, we talked about this. Something happened about 6,000 years ago. And you have to also understand 2,000 years of lies have been propagated on this planet with some of these reptilian type takeovers. And I don't want to go too deeply into this, but what I am trying to say is that factually, there's a lot of stuff that's been hidden from the public And I feel that it's time to not only get that truth, I'm for the truth. No matter how bad it is or how neutral or boring it may be, I don't think it's boring at all. I want to know our true heritage. I want to know what really happened. And I really want to know what we're up against. I'm kind of tired of other beings telling us how to operate, what to believe in, and how much information is safe to compartmentalize to give to the public. I believe the public and the people of this planet deserve the truth, for better or for worse. We deserve the truth. How are we ever going to not repeat and create a loop of consciousness if we don't have all the data that some of these L-ites possess? I want the entire truckload of information. I want to know why. I want to know, well, what's their weaponry now? I want to know what our weaponry is now. I want to know how we can, how the, I like to call it Earth Alliance has pushed back and has also assisted the planet. And I would also like to hear about all the positive things that have been removed from, the positive things and how the dark and some of their assets have been removed from the planet. I feel they're trying to compartmentalize too much. Mm-hmm. And I feel in this like weird video game, this static that they bring only causes more confusion. And that's how I feel.
I'll add one thing to this. So when you say like full 100% transparency, like what's the truth, and then you think about the Anunnaki and this going back 6,000 years. Well, this brings us back to the Mer people again, full circle, because they had a run-in with the Anunnaki, and apparently it was the Mer people that brought writing, knowledge, civilizational technology to the Sumerian and Mesopotamian civilizations through a being called Oannes, who actually came out and was the one who taught these beings. So I don't think it all came from these ETs.
Oh no, yeah. And there's obviously something that, there's a lot of videos out there right now of something came and booted the Anunnaki off the planet. Who are they? You know what I mean? What was this? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things, and I don't want to get, look, we're already getting messed with the online data, but is what I wanted to say is that inherently together as a unit, each of us holds a piece of our true history. And I think as we evolve and raise our vibrations, these questions are going to be answered individually. And then when we all come together, especially on this golden age timeline, which we're all walking on, we're going to fill in the blank pages that are missing. And I think that true disclosure and I think that true wisdom is going to come from us. Mm-hmm. It's not going to come from your government. So it's not. They don't have any vested interest to give the people that much power or knowledge, because the first thing we're going to do is, why do we need to be governed by you?
Well, and that the people give the power back to the oracles, that people give the power back to the people that are speaking truth. Stop following all of the presidents of the Federation. Stop following all that stuff and follow the ones that are genuinely bringing forward the truth of their soul songs, the soul lines. Like the mermaids expose this through the songs. When you start singing a mermaid song or just like an angelic song or whatever, it exposes the truth of the heart. And we have to test everybody according to that. Even all these, people that are at the top of the line and seem to be controlling the matrix and all of these things, like there's no trust there. That trust has been lost.
Oh, yeah, no. They don't. After this COVID thing, I don't think these guys actually process. They lost 80% of the population. We're never going to believe you again. I think they think that they can fix this like they fixed it in the past. You're not going to be able to fix what took place and how we were all lied to, especially by a little jackass that, pleaded the fifth 111 times in front of Congress and is now the states are going after him and everyone involved. Good. It's called mass murder genocide, if you want the correct definition. So there's a lot of things changing right now, but back to the positive stuff. Look, I'm getting all riled up. Listen,
hey,
we're about to have a solar eclipse tomorrow.
We need
There's about to be some meteorites. Okay. But no, we need to get riled up and we need to pay attention. I think for me, I'm going to ask for more of my dormant DNA access codes during that solar eclipse. I'm going to ask my guides for more of my skill sets that I have in other dimensions to breach and braid into this suit. And I say the same thing for everyone out there. I want you guys to live in your most abundant, prosperous version of yourself. And I want you to receive the gifts that you came here with. And I want everyone to be able to activate those gifts that are unique to you. And so you can share that light with the planet. And that's why we came down here in the first place. So Indy, with that, where can they find out more information about the Star Fort retreat?
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. By the way, it was a really fun conversation.
Yes.
So, you can find my website, indigoangel222.com, and I have a little link on the homepage to the Star Fort event. And I mean, I only have so many spots left. So if you want to come, the time is now. And I can tell you, you will not be disappointed. I mean, we are going to actually have our own boat for half the day. One of the days we're going to be out there on the waters with the 444 Atlantic bottlenose dolphins that we have down here in the bay.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, they're amazing. And they're horny. They really they're making babies all day long. So, I mean, you think they're wrestling in the waters, but no, they're mating.
So it might be, you might be witnessing some things is what you're trying to say at the Star Fort. What are you trying to say?
The central energy is very activated.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching our beautiful little TeamLight interviews today. You guys have a great solar eclipse. Be with your loved ones. If it's too much to be in the public, do it privately. Make sure you guys, take care of yourself. And we love you guys very much. Till next time. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Dancing, crashing, come and get your love. Come and get your love. You think you're alone. You think you're alone. Hey, Hatiel, have you heard my horn? Have you heard my horn? Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Don't you remember what happened last time? Yo, devil! Who you think you're talking to? Don't you know I'm local?